Hey everyone, I am Millie and I'm coming in with today's episode where I'm going to give you 5 easy lesson ideas that you can do for the beginning of the school year. So I wanted to jump in and share these with you today. I'm going to commit, I'm making sure to just get back to doing my Facebook Lives and then streaming live on YouTube as well. If you're watching this or listening to this as a podcast, I hope you all are having a great day. And I am going to jump into today's episode. So let's see. I'm going to make sure I count. Um, yep, that I can hear, and I hope you all can hear me pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is start off today's episode by sharing with you a free curriculum app. Now, I did one last year for the 23-24 school year. This curriculum app is updated for the 2024-2025 school year. I will be sure to link it in the show notes. I will be sure also to link it in the chat as well, which I've already done. So if you haven't already, please go download it. It's free that you can use in your classroom. I'm going to make sure to see if I can create like a quick link for it, but it is a free curriculum app. Just check the link in the chat and that way you can download it. Okay, so once again, thank you all so much for being here this morning, or this afternoon, rather. We're going to go ahead and dive into today's episode. And before we do that, I just wanted you all to know that I personally want to thank you all for everything that you're doing this school year. I know a lot of you all may be already back. I know some people are still setting up the school year. So I just want to give you a personal shout out and just thank you for everything that you're doing. You are an efficient and engaging and hardworking teacher, and everything that you're doing is appreciated. In this week's episode, I will share with you a 5-day lesson plan that you can use during the beginning of the school year to help you and your students learn more about each other. So let's go ahead and dive into day one. So, on day one, you want to start your lesson off by introducing yourself. During this presentation, you can share your favorites with students. I will show you a quick example in a moment, but I do this presentation as a model since the students are going to be doing something very similar as well. Afterwards, the students can do an icebreaker. One of my favorites is called Group Stop. So, what Group Stop is during this activity, students will quietly move around the room. Then one person randomly freezes, and this will cause everyone else to freeze as well. It's a really fun activity that you can do with your students. I know I personally really enjoy it. What I'm going to do is, I did mention that I was going to show you all how you can do this with your students as far as an activity that you can do with your students. And I'm going to pull it up really quickly so you all can see, because I love visuals, and so you all can see it as well. Let me see if I can find it. Is it right here? Here we go. We have it pulled up. And let me share with you all just a quick overview of how that might look. PowerPoint, switch it out. So here's one that I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to do this tomorrow, but here's one that I'm going to do with my class. Really simple, but I have my name. I have all my favorites. So I'm going to put a list of my favorite things there. Just quick, where I've trained, my education, some of my dislikes. So some of the things that I like, some of the things that I don't like. And here, one question is, if I had $1,000,000, how would I spend it? And then another thing about me, if I could live anywhere, where would it be and why? So give them some information about, if I could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? Share with them my special people, and also just some contact information on how they can reach out to me. Later in the slide, you see that I talk about like teacher expectations, things that I should be doing. I think that's important. We all, a lot of time we talk about student expectations, but what about the teacher expectations? So it's going to be talking about things that I should be doing, and also there's some just general expectations. I'm going to dive deeper into that as the week goes on. But this is just a sample slide that I'm going to use with my students starting tomorrow. I'm going to fill it out tonight, starting tomorrow. When I start pulling them for class, that'll be one of the things that I do with them as well. So I will be sure, like if you're watching this or you're listening to this, I'll make sure to be able to link the video so you can see the example. So let's go into day 2. So on day 2, one of the things that I like doing is starting off each lesson. I know if you all been with me for a while, I like starting off each lesson with a daily message. And so in this daily message, I'm going to include a greeting, just kind of like the ones that we did earlier, where they may stand up, pull a name, go greet a person. So one of my favorites is called the index card greeting. And so what this greeting is, each student will write their name on an index card, and then the students will then pull a name and then go greet that person. I know sometimes our classes are small. Like I have students this year where it's just me and them, like just one student. So this might be difficult, of course, if you have one student. So you can just, if you have more than one, definitely try it out. Or you and the student can just say, greet each other. Just keep it simple. Then in the second part of day 2's lesson, the students will watch a video. So BrainPop has this back to school video, which is free. And then I inform the students they will watch the video and then they will play a review game afterwards. If your students are anything like mine, they love Gimkit, they love what's that other one they love that's kind of like Kahoot, but it's not Kahoot. Gimkit, they love Blickit. So what I was gonna do is watch the Brain Pop, have them watch the Brain Pop video, then take notes on the Brain Pop video, and then I'm gonna turn the Brain Pop video into like a Blickit or a Gimkit so they can play. Still, where it's just they just warming up to, you know, me and the class, something light. You can also, if you don't want to do a Blickit or a Gimkit, you can just have, it's a quiz attached to the video and the students can write their name on a whiteboard and show their answers. You don't have to get, you know, fancy if you don't want to. You can keep it really simple. I would also like to suggest just taking the time to introduce and practice practice classroom procedures with the students. So if you have 2 to 3 that you want to incorporate and practice, so one of mine is going to be picking up materials that I'm going to practice on day 2 and come into class in a line. I struggled with getting the students in the line all last year because it's nothing I really had to worry about in middle school. But I'm like, I have a large groups and maybe 2 of my grades, so they're going to have to be in a line. So that's one of the procedures that I'm going to be practicing with them all throughout the week. Now, on days 3 through 5 of this week's lesson, you can do a daily icebreaker with your students. So there are a lot of fun icebreakers out there that I like using, but you can just go to Pinterest, type in student icebreakers, and then use some. There's tons that will come up. You can even go to Teacher Pay Teacher, and they have like just tons of icebreaker cards that are free that you can use. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but definitely do an icebreaker. I'm going to commit to doing this all week just so the students can warm up to me and I can warm up to the students. This is a great way to build relationships with your students. And this is just one of my personal goals this year, because last year I did struggle a little bit. And so this year, instead of me just jumping straight into the content, like I have it really bad, like I just want to teach, I'm just going to jump straight into the content. I'm going to be very, very intentional about building relationships with the students this whole week and really into the second week of school that I start seeing them. So the goal of the lesson for days 3 to 5 is for students to create an all about me presentation. I suggest giving the students 1 to 2 days, because if you're going to have them do it on slides, I suggest you giving them 1 to 2 days to create the slides. I will go through some of the sample slides that you can use for your students' presentation as well. I also think I was going to share this for free for you all as well if you all want to use it. So I'll make sure to put the Google Drive link in the chat so you all can use it as well. Also, depending on your students' age and access to the computers, they can create their own presentations in Google Drive. So I know some teachers have them do it in Google Drive or Google Slides rather, and you can have them do that as well. If that's something that you prefer, you can have them do a Google Slide presentation. It's completely up to you how flexible you want to do. I will say though, if you are going to do something like Google Slides, just prepare that it might take a little longer for them to complete some of those activities. So it just depends. I'm on the fence about it right now because they're going to do it this week. So I'm thinking, or it may be half and half for me. I might just do it to where half of the students are, depending on the grade, so maybe the younger grades can do it on paper, And then I can give them like a little poster board or something, and they can post it to the poster board. And then maybe some of the other students can do it on regular Google Drive. So it just really just depends. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is share with you all the link to the presentation, so you'll have access to it. So I'll make sure to put that in the chat that you can have access to it. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is that after we do that, you give them about 1 to 2 days to go ahead and do that. Then what I'm going to go ahead and suggest that you do is, when you're preparing for this, model the lesson to the students on how to complete the presentation. This can look like projecting a slideshow and walking through how to complete each section. I like to include a checklist so that students will have very clear expectations about how to complete the activity. Here is a quick overview on how you can model this activity for your students. I'm just going to do a quick overview on how you can do that. So I'm going to pull it up for you and then do a quick overview on how you can do it. So right here is, let me pull it up right here. Okay, here we go. So right here, this is the lesson plan attached. So you start off on the first slide. It's an all about me slide. It's a cover, and the students can color it in. They can color their picture or draw their own picture, write their name on it. On the second slide is that $1 million question. So it's a slide where they can write down the item and the amount. Like, if they had $1 million, what would they do with it? Then the third slide is called A Weekend with Me. So they'll write down activities that they do on Saturday and Sunday, just so you can learn what they do on the weekends. You can even have them do the times or how long they do each activity for. The next one is, they pick a cartoon character. Why would they be that cartoon character? And then they will write maybe 2 to 3 sentences explaining why. This is a great activity where you can scaffold it, provide sentence frames, provide paragraph frames for the students, and then they will color the page. Remember, I will link this in the show notes so you can have access to it if you want to use these slides. The next one is special people. So they will write or draw or color in 5 special people that are in their lives. The next one is likes and dislikes. So they will pick a topic. So if they can put food, and then they can put which food they like and which food they dislike. So they pick 5 topics and then put their likes and dislikes on there. I'm really excited for this. This is going to be fun for them. The next one is their yearly goals. So I'm going to walk them through picking 3 yearly goals that they want. So that's going to be on one of the presentations. Accomplishments. So think 3 things that they want to accomplish this year, whether it's, joining a club or getting straight A's or just anything that they want to accomplish, which kind of ties into their goals. And then we have what they call about me adjectives, and it says I am, and then 4 adjectives. I included an adjective sheet with them so they can have access to it as well. The beautiful part of this lesson and this activity is that I included a all about me presentation checklist. So when they say I'm done, they can use that checklist to check off each step to kind of help them with the process. So I hope this will help you get started. You can use this at any time of the school year. I do genuinely hope that these strategies and tips help you plan for the upcoming school year. I want you to know, if you found value in today's episode, go to myadventuresinESL.com/store to get the full detailed lesson plans, which include also 2 weeks of lesson plans and activities that you can use for any time of the year. So go to myadventuresinESL.com/store to check those out. Once again, thank you so much for dropping in. I will make sure to link this in the chat for you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.